Welcome everyone. Namaste. Thank you very much for joining me this morning. Let's find a comfortable seat if you're just getting into the room or the practice, and invite your body to be comfortable by adding any support, maybe bolster, pillows, blankets, blocks underneath your thighs. Perhaps today you need to sit on a chair, and that's perfectly okay, or against the wall so you have more support in your spine if you're feeling tired or tense, okay? Then we invite our palms to gently rest on your lap, and take a moment as you move the attention from the noises, the sounds, the things going on outside your room, coming through your windows, or just machines working, whirling around you, towards your own body, bringing the gaze down towards your lungs, towards your heart, and slowly inviting the strands of the mind to be tied together into your intention for this practice and the opportunity to attune to your breath. So as you take the next few cycles, give yourself the opportunity to settle, to soften the skin, to let the heavy bones in your body ground, connect, expand into earth, and to invite the lighter bones in your body, like your sternum, your skull, to float, lift, and create length in your body without tensing the neck or the shoulders, inviting freedom, opening, and ease. This week I shared a few concepts related to the meaning of yoga. So if you were there in class with me, I shared a short definition that talks about yoga as being unity or union. Yoga as also being this action of tying the strands of the mind together, bringing attention towards our intention, and also the meaning or the interpretation of yoga as action, moving from the place we are at into a new place, right? Being able to change the present moment just by bringing intention and having that intention to achieve something new. So today I want to add another definition. There's many. And this one I'm going to share, I'm going to connect it to a piece of philosophy that it's like a mantra that we repeat and we chant. And I'm not going to do that because I'm not experienced on chanting or sharing this mantra with song. But yes, what I'm going to invite you to do at the end with me is that when we open with the Om sound, we'll add to the Om the word Shanti, Shanti, which means peace, peace. So that definition, that extra meaning or aspect is that yoga is to be one with the divine. It does not matter what name we use for the divine. Perhaps it's God, Allah, Ishvara, or whatever it is. Anything that brings us closer to understanding that there is a power higher and greater than ourselves is yoga. When we feel in harmony with that higher power, that too is yoga. And for today, this piece of the philosophy that I want to share says, let us together be protected and let us together be nourished by God's blessings. May we work together with great energy and strength for the benefit of humanity. May our study be luminous, filled with joy, and endowed with the force of purpose. Let us never be poisoned with the seeds of hatred for anyone. Om, let there be peace in me. Let there be peace in my environment. Let there be peace in the forces that act on me. As we join the palms together close to the heart center, bring the fibers of the mind together into your intention. See yourself moving through your practice with the purpose you bring for today. And then we'll open with the Om Shanti Shanti. Inhaling deeply through the nose, big exhale through the mouth, then breathing in again. Om Shanti Shanti. We take a moment to connect and bring the head down to the hands and the heart. Then slowly releasing, palms down. Whenever you feel ready, we lift the head, opening the eyes. Welcome again, and thank you everyone for being here. We are moving to the mat. Make sure that you have your blocks and belt close by. The first posture we are doing today is to start with a modified child's pose. So I'm going to bring my legs together instead of having them wide like we usually do when we come into that shape, if you know it. So I'm coming more towards my heels, bringing the inner thighs towards one another, and we are going to take 3 different versions of this shape. First, I'm going to let my belly come on top of my thighs, and if it's possible, first of all, check if your head easily touches your sticky mat. If it doesn't, then you're going to bring a block, even though it can be a little thick or hard. So you can also bring a blanket, a folded blanket or a pillow, so you can have the forehead supported, okay? If that is okay and your sticky is close to your forehead, then you're going to bring your hands onto your feet, holding the feet for a moment, releasing the forehead there, releasing the shoulders, letting the belly rest on your thighs, and taking 3 breaths here, noticing how the breath makes your chest, your abdomen expand and touch your thighs. And see if with those cycles that you're breathing in this position, you can invite the lumbar area to expand and widen as well. As you feel that pressure of the belly or the stomach into the legs, send also the opportunity of that opening into the lower back, the kidney area. Notice if you're tensing your face, try to soften the skin in the face. Relaxing the shoulders, letting the upper back be rounded and wide. Good, and then we'll keep the same shape, just changing the position of the arms, sending the arms to the sides like a T letter, extending through the fingertips as much as you can. And as you stay here in this bowing shape, you can take a moment also to offer your practice or dedicate it to whoever may come to mind, any being or more than one that you feel connected to or feel the need or the energy to send them as we enter the practice. The arms out to the sides are giving us a chance to feel the breath and the expansion a little bit higher up in the back, so more into the back of your chest. See if you can sense that, and also the opening through the underarms and the stretching of the finger pads, the hands, the wrists, all the way to the shoulders and the chest. Good, and then slowly we'll move into the last version. We are going to move the arms now towards the top of the mat, like we regularly take a child's pose, letting that head stay grounded, extending through the arms and the fingernails, and now feeling the stretch through the underside of the arms, all the way to the armpits, and adding to that the side body, lengthening all the way back to the end of your hips or sitting bones. 2 more breaths here. Good, and then we slowly bring the hands back towards the legs, and we are going to take a block so we can sit in between the, so we can put the block underneath the sitting bones in between the heels. And if this is not high enough for you and the knees are sensitive or not feeling good, then you can either add a second block and make your seat a little higher. You can also add a blanket in between the backs of your legs. And you can make yourself as tall as you need, okay? So you can even put pillows in there and try to lift up more. I'm keeping this shape today because I want us to work a little bit with our feet. And I want you to go and check your feet, and with your hands, spread the toes as much as you can, and give them a chance as we have them touching the sticky mat to stay a little bit more separated. Like if you can fan them, you could fan them or put like separators in between the toes, and make sure that they are pointing towards the back of your mat. As we do that, we are going to use the knuckles of our fingers to gently create a little bit of pressure or a little bit of a massaging action into the soles of our feet. So I'm starting only with one side so I can bring my attention into one foot. I started on my right side, and I'm creating that pressure with my knuckles going from the very top. I'm kind of like first going towards one side, so I'm going into the outer side of the foot. The sole of the foot is a map for all the organs in our body. So what I'm doing is just creating a little bit of pressure going towards my toes, the base of the toes, and then I'm moving a little bit into the inner line of my foot. And I'm also using the knuckles to kind of press into the inside of the foot as well, okay? So it's a little bit like a massage. We are, like I said, accessing different organs there. Once you did that on one side, an invitation to use your opposite hand and go into the second side, creating a little bit more of like a kneading action, and opening up a little bit of that sole of the foot that sometimes gets not that much attention, and we are on our feet all the time, okay? So try and go into all areas with your knuckles, pressing into the heel, the outer side, the inner arch, down to the base of your toes. Good, and then once you're done, you can shake a little bit through the hands. We are going to try and keep that, and then bring the arms in front, interlock your fingers, press your palms away from your chest, extend through the arms, take one inhalation to lengthen the sides, push through your palms and the base of your fingers. If you can send the index fingers a little higher than the rest, and bring the arms a little further back, okay? So don't push your shoulders down. In this shape, we are sending the shoulder blades up. Then after you do that, try and bring the front ribs gently down towards your belly button, and keep sending the arms back as far as they go for today, lengthening through the crown of the head. Deep inhale through the nose, nostril breathing for the inhalation and the exhale. And then one more, inhaling there. And the out breath is fluid through the nose, and we release the arms, and we move into the tabletop. And we take that block out, shake, or pillows or what you have, shake a little bit there. And we are going to tuck the toes and just help ourselves come up to standing. Good. From standing position today, once you get there, take your block again, and I'm going to show you, I'm going to come close so you can see. What I'm going to do is to use my block flat, and it's going to be like this in between my feet, okay? So I'm going to put it on my sticky mat, and then I'm going to put both my feet to touch the block with the inner lines, okay? So you should be feeling the inner side of your thumb, the big toes, sorry, the inner line of your big toes and the inner ankles and the inner heels touching that block. Now from there, I want you to bend your knees, come towards your toes so you can touch them with your fingers, and I want you to reopen the toes by spreading the toes with your hands. And if you can, you do that in both. And once you did that in both, you can return to the standing position. Beautiful. Once you're there, I want you to really consciously bring your brain into your big toes and make them push the block in, right? So you're trying to squeeze the block with the big toes, the part that it's touching. And at the same time, I want you to feel the flesh of your inner ankles lifting up towards your knees. So that will start activating your feet and your legs way more than what they are usually activated. And I want you to feel how by doing that, you're also starting to activate a lot of your inner arches, drawing the energy up into your legs and into your pelvis and further up, stomach, chest, all the way up to the head. So we are going to keep that, and I want you to keep feeling that sensation of lifting the inner arches, the action of the outer edges of your feet grounded. Now we are going to add the activation of the hips, the hip bones moving towards one another, the glutes moving down and into your body so they are active, they are not sleeping. And then from there, we are going to inhale, arms up, overhead, beautiful. And again, we are going to lace the fingers and press the palms up. Extend through the sides, and notice as you are pressing your palms up and stretching the arms if you lost the attention into your feet. So see if you can check that and bring those inner big toes to press into your block, the inner arches to lift, and the inner ankles, the flesh lifting up, okay? One more breath, then exhale, release. Beautiful. Now I'm going to go into my block. I'm going to take it, same shape, same flat, and this time I'm going to put it in between my knees. So we lift it up a little. And I'm bringing my feet, of course, they are not going to be able to go super close to each other, but I'm bringing them as close as I can. Now, as I'm hugging my inner knees into the block, what I want us to do is to imagine we still have the block in between the feet. So create the same actions that you were doing before into the block with your big toes, lifting inner arches, lift the flesh in your inner ankles, and notice how activates the legs. The kneecaps are more contracted, the fronts of your thighs are also contracted, glutes are helping, they are awake. And from there, we are going to add a little bit more. Now, before we go with the arms up, I want you to not only squeeze the block with your inner knees, but try to send your outer knees back towards the wall or the piece of furniture that you have behind you. So keep those actions, you'll feel more activation. Let's inhale, arms up overhead. Beautiful. Now with the right hand, I'm going to catch the left forearm. Pull, pull, pull. Keep those actions in the legs from the feet up, and we tilt over to the right. Opening up the left side, tilting the chest, not tilting, but spinning the chest and the belly up to the ceiling. Can you bring your brain down to your feet, and from the feet create that action of lifting the prana, the energy from earth up. Then we return and we switch sides, left hand catching the right forearm, pull the air, reassess the feet, the inner knees, the outer knees, the action of the glutes, and we go over to the opposite side. One more breath. Good, then we return, we come back, release, beautiful. Let's now take that block. This time I'm going to change it. Instead of being flat, I'm coming back, I'm going to switch it and put it medium, a little taller, okay? So now I'm going to put it like that in between my thighs. So now it's as high as I can, close to my pelvis. I'm going to hug that block again, and this time I'm going to try and bring my feet a little closer. So they are almost touching if there is the possibility to make them touch, okay? If not, they are as close as they can be. And now again, I'm going to imagine that I have my block in between my feet. So I'm going to try and bring the the inner sides, or the outer sides of your big toes into that imaginary block that it's not there anymore. I'm going to lift my inner arches and inner ankles. The bones and the flesh are lifted, the glutes are active, the hips are pressing in, and my inner thighs are hugging the block and sending it back towards the wall behind, okay? We keep all of that, and again, we inhale, arms up overhead. This time I'm lacing the fingers with the index pointing up and the thumbs touching each other, and I'm going to lengthen both sides, keep the action in the legs from the feet up. And again, we tilt. This time we go towards the right. Again, opening the left side. Then we come back up and we go the other way. Beautiful. We return to center. Don't let go of that block. Stay there where you are. I'm just moving so you can see me. Same idea with the feet. Lifting the energy up. Now what I'm going to add, stay there, I'm just going to show you, is the action of the sacrum moving towards my block. So it's like if I want to touch the block with my coccyx, I'm going to keep that, lift from the navel up towards your nose, lengthen the sides, opening the chest, and go a little further up and back. Sacrum to your block, inner thighs hugging the block, lifting inner arches, all the actions from before so we don't upset the lower back. And then we come back up and we release through the arms, and we are going to keep that block where it is to come to downward facing dog. But this might be a little bit of a challenge. So you can take your block in your hand and you can come into hands and knees and then re-put that block in between the thighs like we had it right now. So the last setting, which was the third one. Block in between the thighs, right up your pelvis. You keep that. Bring the hands down. Spin the fingertips towards the sides of your mat. Move the knees a few inches behind your hips. And then as you tuck the toes, lift up. Push the mat away. Check the position of your hands with your eyes. So you make sure that you have the space that you need. Press the palms into the sticky to send the ceiling bones up and away from each other. Relax the neck. Let the head be heavy. And from here, we are toning, of course, through the legs. Can you bring the same actions that we did from the very moment we started the standing posture? The inner big toes moving in, so they are active. The inner arches lifting. The inner ankle flesh lifting up towards the inner knees. Inner knees lifting to the inner thighs. Inner thighs pushing that block behind you. And we are trying to bring the chest towards the thighs and then bring the ribs in just a little. Relax the head. Take another breath. Good, then bring your knees down. Beautiful, coming down. Take that block out to the side. Come back into the tabletop. And we take 3 times the cat-cow, inhaling, opening the front spine, exhaling, we round. 2 more, inhale, and exhale. 1 more, inhale. Notice hips, pelvis, upper back, exhale. Remember, we are trying to connect breath and movement together. Now we are going to come up into a down dog without the block. So from there, slowly we push again into the mat. We lift up into Adho Mukha Svanasana, the downward facing dog. We push the mat away. Lift your biceps up towards your ears. Draw the navel up, ribs down. Firm the hips into one another. And from here, we'll slowly move towards the staff pose. We call it plank pose, or the top of a push-up. Push through your heels, lengthen through the sternum into the front of your room. Then we push back up, downward facing dog. One more, inhaling, plank pose. And then if you need, you use your knees first to come down, and then the chest and the chin, and we'll slide onto the mat. Good, from here, hands right off your mat. Press with the fingertips, roll the shoulders back, extend the legs. Sacrum lengthens like if it wants to touch that block that you had before. And then draw the navel in and up. Push the floor away to lift the sternum, the front spine, shoulder blades down. Exhale, we release. Hands under the shoulders, tuck your toes. We go up, downward facing dog. Pushing again through the mat, relaxing the head. Good, then walk your feet towards your hands. Keep the feet hip distance apart, bend the knees if you need. We'll put the hands on the shins to lift halfway. In this one, I want you to send the shoulders back. Draw your heart away from your belly and lift the belly up. Exhale, fold. Press through the feet. Inhale, come all the way up. And exhale, hands to center. And we release into Tadasana. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Good, then from there we are going to catch both our blocks, and I'm going to show you two ways of doing the next posture, okay? So if you have a baseboard or a wall or a little piece of space where you can use it, that will be super helpful because I'm going to use it a little. So let's say I'm moving my mat towards the baseboard and then I'm going to use that. If you don't have any wall around you that you can use, no worries. You're going to use two blocks. So I'm going to do downward facing dog with my heels elevated on the blocks or on the baseboard. If you're using just your blocks, you're going to put both your blocks flat, hip distance apart. And then from there, you're going to make sure that your heels are able to touch your blocks, and you're going to walk into your downward facing dog from there. I hope you can see it. My heels are on the blocks. Okay, if you have the wall and you want to use it instead, I'm going to show you. I'm going to just move into the baseboard of my wall and then take my down dog with the heels pressing into the baseboard, and it's pretty similar at like the blocks that I showed before. Okay, so either or, pick one. I'm just going to stay in this one. And then you press with the heels into your blocks or the baseboard. You send the sitting bones up and away from one another. Make sure your biceps are moving up towards the skies. Spread your toes as much as you can. Activating those kneecaps. Drawing the belly up. Ribs down. Relax the neck and the head. Another breath here. Good, and then slowly walk your feet out of the blocks or the baseboard towards your hands. Bring your hands to the hips, roll the shoulders back, lengthen the spine, come up. And exhale and release. Beautiful. Okay. Now from here, we are going to take the blocks again. And if you are someone who has a baseboard or a little piece of wall, or a dresser, or maybe a mantle like I do, you can use perhaps part of it for the next thing, okay? Now what I'm going to do is, if you have that baseboard or that space, I'm going to put my right heel against that baseboard and the left leg in front. The heel is touching the baseboard and the foot is turned out a little bit, like when we do Warrior One. And I'm going to put my blocks tall to frame my left foot. So I have my left leg in front, my back heel is the right one, okay? Remember, it can be like the base of a dresser or a mantle if you have something there, or even your bed if you have, okay? Now from here, I'm going to try and bring my hips towards the front of my mat. Roll the shoulders back. Press that heel into the baseboard, or if not, you put a block there and you push into the block. Lift the inner arches, and I want you to activate your feet like we did in the very beginning. So from your big toe mounts pressing in, from the inner arches lifting, we activate the legs from there, lifting up towards the pelvis, okay? I have the chest facing forward. I'm going to inhale, arms up overhead, draw the sacrum down, the navel up, lengthen the torso forward. And as you do this and we come to the tabletop, keep pushing the outer side of your back heel into the baseboard. Send the left hip back, push into the left big toe, and then bring your hands to the tall blocks. Beautiful. Let's stay here. The blocks are right under my shoulders, okay? And I put them in the highest position. Send the left hip back. But at the same time that you're sending that left hip back, you're combining that with your left big toe pushing down into your mat. So it's almost like it's drilling your sticky mat, okay? Beautiful. Now I'm going to add a little challenge. So we are going to keep that. We are going to move the heart away from the abdomen. And I'm going to travel a little bit with my blocks so I can walk my foot, my right foot up the wall. And I'm taking it as a support for a Warrior 3. And now I have my right foot pointing down with my toes pointing down, drawing the navel up, heart away from the abdomen again. Roll the shoulders back, lengthen the spine, push that right heel into the wall. Take a deep breath in, deep breath out. Push the inner right heel into that wall that you have behind you or furniture. Nice, and then bring slowly that right foot down, bring it right next to the left. Drop the trunk over the legs, bend the knees if you need. Draw the lower belly up, hands to hips, lengthen the spine, push through the feet to come up, and we are back to standing. Yay, we did part number 1. Okay, now I'm going with the second side. Now I'm going to put my left heel at the baseboard or the block if you're using it as your reference. My mat keeps moving. Good, left heel pressing down and the foot is pointed out like when I'm doing Warrior 1. So it's in a diagonal, like in a 45-degree angle, okay? And then I'm bringing my right leg in front, putting my blocks in the tallest of the settings, okay? First of all, I'm standing. I have a hip distance apart between my feet, so I have enough stability there that I'm not falling. Hands onto hips, hips pointing forward towards the front of the mat. And now I want you to feel the reference of your heel pushing into the baseboard, drawing the navel up, shoulders down and shoulder blades down the back. Good. Pushing to the right big toe, mainly the inner line of your right big toe, like if you were pushing into the block in the beginning. Lift your inner arch, pressing to the center of your heel, okay? Let's keep that. Send the right hip back towards the wall. Tone that back leg, arms up. Lengthen the spine. Beautiful. Now I'm going to keep sending my right hip back as I bring the heart forward, away from the belly. Lengthen, 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 lengthen. Those legs are super strong. And then you bring your hands into the blocks. Good. From there, once I set my support, my hands into the support, I'm going to, again, pushing to the right big toe mount and send the right hip back. It's a little bit of a spinning action from the drilling of the right big toe all the way up to the right hip, moving away from each other. One is pushing the other one away. Draw the belly in, draw the heart forward. Good, and now we travel a little bit up. So I'm going to move with my block. You can bend the front knee if needed, and I'm going to lift that left foot, left leg, and I'm going to make the toes point down towards the floor. I'm doing a warrior 3. Hold that right hip, send it back towards the wall, left hip moving forward. Again, lengthen the heart away from the belly. Roll the shoulders back, lengthen through the crown of the head. Good. If you need to bend that right knee, bend the right knee a little. It's absolutely fine if you feel a little pulling there in the hamstring, okay? You can practice bending the front knee and then very slowly re-extend it by pressing into the big toe, the inner heel, lifting the inner arch. One more breath. Nice. Hips are leveled, drawing the navel up. Then slowly bring that left foot forward, fold over the legs, bend the knees, relax the neck and the head. Relax the arms as well, and as you press through your feet, slowly let your spine be rounded. Use your core, hips in. We come up to standing Tadasana. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Very nice. Let's move the blocks out. Good. And now we're going to use the length of the mat. Widen your feet. Good, good. Okay, a few, 2 different things we're going to do. First, I'm going to open the right foot to the right. It looks like the triangle shape for the legs, heel to arch. Open up that left arch by lifting it. So I'm trying to suck that inner arch up, pressing a little bit more into the outer edge of the foot and spreading the toes like we did in the beginning with our hands. See if you can spread the toes. Extend the arms out. Good. Bring your glutes towards one another. Lengthen the sides of your torso. Relax the shoulders. Lengthen towards the right side. And we put the right hand on the shin or the thigh or the knee, wherever it lands. Don't worry about the blocks because we are not staying long. I just want us here to move the shoulders back, to spin the belly and the chest up towards the ceiling. Good. And we are going to just slide that right hand a little further up to come towards standing. And then I'm going to return a little further down to the triangle. Good. 2 more like that. Lengthen, slide up. And then bring that right hand sliding down your pants. Good. And again, 1 more. Lifting up that left side. And then returning. Good. Pushing to your feet, heels, big toe mounts, lift inner arches. Bring yourself back up. Good. Turn the right foot in. Let's take the left foot out. And we'll do the same thing on the opposite side. Now we push through the outer edge of the right foot. Glutes are active. Draw the navel up to the nose. Lengthen the sides. And we are going to the left. Left hand onto the shin, knee, thigh, wherever it lands, shoulders back, lengthen the sides, spin the chest and the belly towards the ceiling. You can gaze down towards the toes if that feels better in your neck. And I'm always trying to bring my upper side ribs down towards the hips. 1 more breath. And now we do 3 of that sliding motion. So slide that left hand up your leg and then bring it down. We are back to the triangle. Again, up and down. Press through your feet so your legs are super active and they are supporting your lower back, okay? Last one. Push through the feet, lift that energy through the arches up your pelvis. We come up. Good, bring your hands to your hips. Turn the left foot in. Keep the legs wide apart. Check that the heels are in the same line. Good. Let's bring the arms behind. Lock your fingers or interlace the fingers. Roll the shoulders, extend through the arms behind you. Glutes are active. Imagine again the sacrum moving towards that block that you had in between the thighs. This time the block is wide, very much bigger than before. Lengthen through the crown of the head. Good. And then we release the arms, inhaling, send them up. Keep pushing through the outer edges, spreading the toes. Can you ground the big toe mounds as you move forward? And we come towards the fold. Hands down to the blocks, to the floor, to your sticky, and release the trunk. And if you want, you can move your hands a little further back. What I'm most interested today in the practice, as you may imagine, is the use of your feet. So I want you to be particularly connected with your brain into the feet. So feel like we did from the very beginning with the block, how you can engage the outer edges of your feet, press through the inner heels, but lift the inner ankle flesh so your inner legs are active all the way up to the pelvis. Same with the inner arches, suck them up, and don't lose the power of your big toe mounds. One more breath there. I see some dogs practicing. That looks good. One more breath. Good. Okay, keep pressing into the heels. Lengthen that spine. Good. And then from there, don't come up yet. Just walk or heel toe your feet towards one another until they are a little closer or a little wider than your hips. And then we take a squat. So we are going to come down into a squat from that shape. So bring the feet in, heels in, toes out, and we bring the hands right in front of the chest, taking a moment here. Release the hips. Use your arms to help you widen a little bit through the legs. Take a few breaths. Softening the skin in the face. And using these next couple of cycles before we switch the position to help you flush your body. So almost like cleansing breaths. Good, and then slowly bring your hands behind you. Put your sitting bones down. Bring your legs in front. For this one, I'm going to use a blanket to sit on, so I elevate my sitting bones a little bit, and I'm also going to use my belt. I'm going to come into the seated position. I have my sitting bones on top all the way. I'm sitting all the way at the end of that blanket, so it's just a minimal lift. And then I'm going to make a loop or just catch your belt if you don't have the time or you don't want to do that. Just catch the belt and put it, if you have the loop like me, I'm putting my feet inside all the way close to my ankles and heels. So I have the belt close to me and I can grab it and I can pull, okay? If you want just the two tails, you pull from the two tails instead of looping the belt, okay? Now with the belt, what I'm trying to do is to make my inner heels and the base of my big toes to touch, okay? So look at that. Keep the pressure between the base of the big toes and the inner heels. And then you pull that belt up. And as you're pulling the belt up, you're using that pull to take the shoulders up, back, and down, and lift the spine. This will fire your upper back muscles, okay? So you may feel it a little bit there. What I want you to do is to bring the shoulder blades down and let the bottom tips of your shoulder blades move in towards one another. And as you breathe here, softening the face, I want you to picture your collarbones as wide as your sticky mat. And also, I want you to try and imagine those collarbones having like two balloons underneath, that they are long and wide like the collarbones, and they are letting them or making them float up. Relaxing the jaws and the tongue. You can soften your eyelids if you want, or gaze down, and take a few cycles again, cleansing, brushing with that breath your whole body. Three breaths here. One last one. Beautiful. And then we slowly release that belt. Bring the knees towards one another. You can extend the legs and shake them a little bit, okay? Keep that blankie where it is. It may be useful to pad your knees. We are going to kneel onto the mat. And I want you to catch your blocks. A lot of props today. So I'm kneeling on my mat, right? And then I'm going to put my blocks right off or right outside my ankles. So very close to the ankles so I can go and touch my blocks. If you need to move your blankie a little, like I'm doing, I'm just doing that so my blocks are super next to me and I can go and touch them, okay? You can tuck your toes if you want or leave them untucked, it's your choice. And from there, first with hands onto the hips, I'm going to lift the sides of the trunk. I'm going to press into my inner knees and use the shins to ground into my blanket. And then from there, I'm going to roll the shoulders back and down, lifting the sternum. Good. Then let's send the right arm up. Turn that arm and bring it back and see if you can catch your block. Good, stay there. Send the left arm up and back. That's all we are doing first. Send the sacrum down, draw the navel up, heart up, shoulder blades down. Good, then slowly return, coming back. We'll switch sides, one at a time. Now I'm going to bring my left arm. Let's go up, inhaling. Then I'm going back. And I'm going to try and touch my tall block there, okay? Once you have it and you have that support, inhale, right arm up. I'm drawing the navel up, glutes into one another, sacrum down, and going a little further back. Then I'm slowly returning from the left, back up, sit back for a moment. On your heels, just a breath. Good, and then we slowly return. Again, if you want, you tuck your toes or you leave them untucked. Press into your blanket, press the inner knees. Your glutes should be active and we are lifting from the navel up towards the sternum. Again, I'm going right arm up, back, catching my block. And this time I'm going to try and up the second arm, up and over, and see if you can find your block. And from there, just using that block, the blocks as support, keep lengthening the sacrum down, keep hugging the hips into one another, glutes in, lift the heart and the sternum up and away from your belly button. And I usually like to keep my chin coming towards the chest to lengthen the neck. One more breath. And you're going to keep this opening in the chest to push your blocks away and come back. And then sit back, move your blocks to the sides, widen the knees. You can keep the blanket or take it out, and we take a child's pose. If you want, with your fists, with your hands, you can make fists, And gently tap into your lower back, creating a little bit of massaging there. Another breath. Good, and then from here we're going to take our last down dog. Press through your palms, spin the fingertips towards the sides of your mat. Bring your knees a little further back, touch your toes. Let's go up and stretch the lower back and the legs. Feel that opening again through the spine. Heels down, spread the toes. Use all the actions that we've been doing today in class. Good, lift through the inner arches and those sitting bones up and away from one another to widen the lower back. Draw the ribs down, hips in. Good, and then bring the knees down. And we are going to bring the legs in front. Beautiful. Okay, let's come onto our backs with the knees coming to the chest. Rock from side to side. We made it. Good, and from here, put your feet down. Bring the right foot on top of the left thigh. Bring your knees in, thread your right arm inside the right leg, bringing the left knee in. 2 breaths here. Good, then just release the arms, but keep the legs the same. And what I'm going to do here is to put the left foot down on the mat, so I keep the number 4 shape, arms to the sides. I'm just moving for space. And now what I'm going to do is to let my right foot come down to the left until it touches the floor. So it's a twist, but a little different than the usual. My right knee is pointing up to the ceiling. Relax the arms and bring the chin to the right. Softening the jawline, the face, ears. Then slowly coming back, bring the legs back to center, put the right foot down, left foot on top of the right thigh, bring the legs in, threading the left arm inside the legs to bring the knees in. Hug that knee in for 2 breaths. Coming back. Good. Try to relax the shoulders if possible. Nice. Super. Then release the arms. Bring the right foot to touch down for a moment. And then once you're there, if you need to shift your hips, you do. If you're okay, just bring the left foot over to the right until it touches the floor. And the left knee this time will be pointing up to the ceiling, a little different, a softer twist here. Shoulders relaxed. Open the arms out to the sides. Good. Last breath. Then slowly return back to center. Take that left foot back down onto your mat. Good. A happy baby if you want, or just hugging your knees and swinging a little bit from side to side. Beautiful. Good. Super. And now from here, as I usually do, I invite, if you have some kind of wall or the back of a sofa or a piece of furniture, to send your legs up and be supported by something. Go there, put your hips or your sitting bones close to that furniture that you have and send the legs up. If you don't have anything like that, no worries today. You can just come to Shavasana because it's time to take rest. So you can choose to have the Shavasana with the legs up in a restorative posture to release and change a little bit the relationship with gravity. in the legs and bringing it down towards the rest of your body, or just supine posture. As we come to Shavasana, corpse pose, we let this moment be the moment of surrender. We move towards silence, stillness, a pause. And in this pause, we integrate the practice into our bodies, our minds, our hearts. Let us together be protected, and let us together be nourished by God's blessings. May we work together with great energy and strength for the benefit of humanity. May our study be luminous, filled with joy, and endowed with the force of purpose. Let us never be poisoned with the seeds of hatred for anyone. Om, let there be peace in me. Let there be peace in my environment. Let there be peace in the forces that act on me. Receive a deep inhalation through the nose. Let it all go through the mouth. Slowly returning to your body, your room. Bringing awareness back again to the fluidity of your breath. And slowly adding movement to fingers, hands, wrists, feet and toes. Keeping your face soft, your eyes relaxed. Whenever you feel ready, bend the knees, place your feet on the mat, roll over to one side. And as you feel ready, after at least one full cycle breathing on your side, press up to find the seat or the shape that will mark the end of this journey together. As we come up to a seat, we invite our palms in gratitude to join the altar of the heart. And we bring the strands of the mind together to recognize sensations after the practice, to check in with our breath, with any emotions arising, and for the opportunity to develop a practice of awareness, develop the practice of fluidity, connection, unity, and the recognition of a higher power helping us move towards our truest intentions. We'll close with the Om sound and we'll add the Shanti, Shanti, peace, peace. Inhaling deeply through the nose, big exhale, breathing in again when you're ready. Shanti, Shanti. Namaste.